sexual thoughts and how they are linked to your relationship quality, your testosterone levels, and your anxiety. Let's break it down real quick. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, Cognitive Neuroscientist and Sex Addiction Recovery Coach. So let's talk about sexual thoughts. And people ask me about fantasy all the time because it's something that's very difficult for people to get over if you have had a compulsive pornography and masturbation habit. So if you keep going back to the screen, it leads to euphoric recall of what you've seen. It leads to fantasy and sexual thoughts. Now I'm going to share with you the results of a study that show that you might think that your sexual thoughts are associated with an increase in your testosterone level because it makes you feel charged up and sexual. But in fact, what this study shows is that after sexual thoughts, testosterone levels do not rise, cortisol levels rise. Now let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is the stress neurotransmitter. So we've talked lots of times before about when you go into the screen, there's an increase of dopamine, and the dopamine gets flowing and it arouses you and it makes you feel pleasure, and it's the pleasure-seeking neurochemical. It brings you back for more. And I call it the friction point, where it's the perfect combination of arousal and anxiety that keeps you coming back for more and more. Cortisol levels are associated with anxiety. And what this study shows is that after you have sexual thoughts, cortisol goes up, it spikes. So it makes you feel aroused because it's heightened arousal in terms of that anxious feeling that you're feeling. But what does cortisol do in your real life? It carries over as anxiety. And this plays into the A-B effect that I share, the pendulum effect that I talk about that swings back and forth. So what that means is when you're in the screen and you're engaging in pornography and masturbation, your testosterone levels are not going up, but that dopamine is getting flowing. And then after the fact, there's that spike in cortisol that makes you feel stressed out and anxious, but it may make you feel like you have heightened arousal. So when you stay out of the screen, this cycle of neurotransmitter release can even off, and you can feel lower levels of pleasure from your life out in the world. There will be no more dopamine deficit. There will be dopamine in the world from your work, from your honey, from your relationships, and from your hobbies. And the cortisol spike will no longer be there, so you'll feel less anxious. Yes, you may feel less sexual, but that's a good thing, because hypersexuality means you're feeling too sexual all the time or a lot. So when that starts to go away, it might feel like a void to you or like something's missing, but it's your brain evening off and your system evening off so that it's not looking for sex everywhere. This way, it can enjoy your life. So the brain tip strategy, or the takeaway for today, is when you stay out of the screen, you won't feel those anxiety levels, but you might not feel the same arousal level. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're healing. Okay, I hope that helps you out. And remember, if you need help on this journey, I am here for you. Go to drtrishleigh.com. I have programs in different shapes and sizes for your needs. And as always, control your brain or it'll control you.